Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, it's Diego with another fantastic video for you guys out there in green card and K1 visa land. Just a quick reminder, I'm not an immigration attorney. I don't give you legal advice. I don't work for USCIS, but I've been processing K1 visas and green cards for over 13 years. Now, I know, folks, that you are about sick and tired of your green card processing slowing down, especially if you're from one of those 75 countries or one of those 39 countries that were placed on a indefinite pause by the Trump administration for absolutely no reason at all other than the fact that Trump doesn't like those countries, using national security as his excuse. Well, the good news is that another federal judge, this one from Ohio, has ordered the Trump administration to resume processing certain immigration benefit applications to include green cards for American citizens' families, okay? U.S. District Judge Elganon L. Marbley has granted a preliminary injunction, and this was a case brought about by 25 foreign nationals who said that their applications for work authorization, green card, and other immigration benefits like family reunification in regards to staying in the United States and other benefits had been stalled under USCIS and the Department of Homeland Security, DHS. Their policies are tied to countries covered by President Donald Trump. Everything reads back to Trump and his travel restrictions. This would include countries like Venezuela, Cuba, etc. Now, this decision no doubt will affect immigrants seeking green cards. Well, it will affect them. It's going to help them. They're looking for work permits and other benefits while living in the United States of America. And this is basically adding to the growing list, or the growing series, I should say, of court rulings questioning whether the Trump administration has the authority, which they don't, to impose these broad application freezes. The Congress put the Immigration and Nationality Act into effect, and one person in the White House cannot overturn that. Now, President Trump launched an attack on American companies, and he is attacking American families who are trying to indefinitely block their green cards, okay? And federal judges keep overturning his vicious acts against these groups of people from these countries, okay? And their American citizen sponsors. Like myself, a Navy veteran, 20-year Navy veteran, sick and tired of this. Now, the Judge Marbley wrote that the challenged policies indefinitely paused USCIS's final adjudication of pending immigration benefit applications submitted by foreign nationals from certain countries, like my beautiful wife Karina from Venezuela, while also treating nationalities from those countries as significant and negative factors. My wife is not a negative factor. She's not a security threat to this country, but in the adjudication process, it's insane. Okay, it's just an excuse by Trump to block green card processing. Now, for thousands of immigrants with pending applications, like my beautiful wife from Venezuela, this ruling no doubt will help move along stalled cases and get them moving forward. Although my wife's process is adjudication of her 10-year green card, has still got a ways to go anyway. Now, as you know, USCIS oversees a basic wide range of immigration benefits, including adjustment of status applications for green cards, work permit authorizations, and citizenship applications and asylum claims. Now, my wife is eligible to apply for U.S. citizenship in June of 2027. When these applicants are frozen, like my wife, applicants can face months of uncertainty regarding their legal status. It sucks, right? Their employment status and future in the United States. The Congress of the United States says these people can get their green cards adjudicated. They're already in the country, for crying out loud. Now, the plaintiffs in the Ohio case included people from Burma, Canada, can you believe Canada? Iran, Nigeria, Syria, Tanzania, and of course Venezuela. Now, Judge Marbley noted that they include a hospital pharmacist, a registered nurse, a cancer researcher receiving federal funding, college graduates with pending job offers in the fields of science and engineering, a university professor, and young couples raising families, or young couples not raising families but happily married together, right? So the ruling addresses not whether the applicants should receive an immigration benefit, okay, but whether the government can stop processing these green cards altogether. It's insane. These people are highly educated. Like my wife has a degree in tax accounting. Now, the judge also emphasized that the plaintiffs were not foreign nationals seeking entry into the United States from overseas. They're already in the United States. My beautiful wife has a 2-year green card that's been extended into a 48-month extension. She lives here. So these foreign nationals are not outside the country. They reside across the United States. And Judge Marbley wrote, many of them have been in the United States for years, like my wife, and already have received prior authorization to work here, like my wife. Immigration advocates, which would be me, have argued that such freezes leave applicants in legal limbo. Well, of course they do. Even when they have followed the rules, and they followed immigration law, and they followed established procedures, and remain eligible to seek benefits under federal law. But Trump seems to think that he's the king of the United States and he can change whatever the hell he wants. Our country doesn't work that way. And the judge drew a sharp distinction between restrictions on entry into the United States and the processing of applications from people who have already been living in this country. My wife's been living in the United States over 2 years. She's already been properly vetted by Interpol, the FBI, the Colombian security police, Venezuelan security police. The judge went on to say it is difficult to see how any asserted government interest in public safety or national security would have any bearing on foreign nationals who are lawfully present in the United States and are following the government's requirements to apply for these immigration benefits. This is close quote from Judge Marbley. That's what he wrote. That's what he wrote in his opinion. And it's not an opinion. He's telling USCIS, do your frickin' job as the Congress has directed you to, and adjudicate green cards. Judge Marbley rejected the government's attempt to shield the policies from judicial review, writing that national security cannot be used as a blanket answer to legal challenges. My wife is no threat to the national security of this country, and the Trump administration knows this. They are just looking for an excuse to block green cards from being issued. Judge Marbley wrote, national security cannot be a talisman used to ward off inconvenient claims, he wrote, quoting a legal precedent. It's just an excuse by Trump to block a person from getting a green card, and he's hoping that they time out and are forced out of the country. He's just vicious. Now, Judge Marbley also addressed statements made by Trump and Vice President J.D. Vance, writing that both the president and the vice president have publicly and repeatedly expressed outright hostility towards immigrants, both before and after the 2024 presidential election. Well, he's right. The judge is right. Trump and J.D. Vance don't like immigration into this country. The judge also added that their ire appears focused on immigrants from countries in the Caribbean, South America, Africa, and Asia, primarily Africa. So the judge's order requires that the agency to resume processing the affected cases. Well, my wife, she's still a ways out for adjudication of her 10-year green card, but now hopefully this will continue her case moving forward in the future. Importantly, though, the ruling does not mean applicants automatically receive a green card. It doesn't. Work permits, no, or other immigration benefits. Instead, USCIS must evaluate individual applications and issue decisions under existing immigration law, which is what the Congress put in place under the Immigration and Nationality Act. You cannot leave these people indefinitely on hold. And President Trump is learning that he cannot do that. It's just vicious and un-American, in my opinion. Now, this Ohio ruling is not the first court decision to question USCIS processing freezes. You know that, right? Last month, U.S. District Chief Judge John J. McConnell Jr., he's out of Rhode Island, he struck down 4 USCIS policies, including measures that froze decisions on green card, work permit, citizenship, and asylum applications for applicants. Those are the people from those countries covered by the administration's travel restrictions. President Trump is picking and choosing which countries he wants to let people into our republic. Congress makes those decisions, not Trump. And then days later, after that ruling, USCIS said it strongly disagrees with the court order. These are probably Trump's words, not USCIS, but they would comply. Well, they better comply. And the agency officials also later told the court that employees had been instructed to treat the challenged restrictions as if they are no longer in effect, while further litigation proceeds. We just need a new president, a new Department of Homeland Security secretary, and a new director of USCIS. In the Ohio case, Judge Mobley noted that USCIS issued a policy directing personnel to hold all pending benefit applications for foreign nationals listed in Trump's expanded proclamation, while a comprehensive review was conducted. But the Congress didn't give this authority. Okay? So the court concluded that the agency lacked authority to indefinitely suspend adjudications based on applicants' national origin, and found that the policies they are violating federal administrative law. They are violating the law. Trump doesn't have the authority to do this. Okay? Critics of the freezes have argued that the administration effectively expanded travel ban style restrictions beyond visa applicants abroad and into the lives of immigrants already residing in the United States, which is going to affect American companies, and it's going to affect American citizens' families like me as an American citizen being jacked around by the Trump administration. Administration officials have defended the policies, there's no defense, as necessary to protect national security. Baloney. It's a baloney. And improve screening procedures. Well, then I can agree with. It's one thing to improve screening procedures, but you don't put a block, an indefinite freeze on adjudication. Judge Mobley wrote that the question before the court was not whether the policies were wise, but whether USCIS had legal authority to implement them. Right? The judge found that the plaintiffs had shown they were being harmed. They were being harmed by the freeze. Writing, plaintiffs have sufficiently shown at this preliminary stage that so long as they are subjected to the freeze, or this indefinite limbo, caused by challenged policies, they are being harmed. We're going to move forward, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. And for many immigrants, the distinction is crucial. A denial can be challenged through legal channels. Remember, only an immigration judge can remove somebody who is a green card holder from the country. While an indefinite freeze leaves applicants waiting without a clear timeline or resolution, the judge understands this. Okay? Judge Mobley also said the government has failed to explain why postponing decisions on these people for their green cards would address any security concern for people already inside the United States who have already been vetted. My wife was vetted by Interpol, the FBI twice, the National Security Police of Colombia, the National Security Police of Venezuela. So the Trump administration has failed to explain how a delay of a decision on pending immigration benefit applications for foreign nationals already in the United States could ameliorate any public safety or national security concern. Close quote. This is what the judge wrote. And the court has also ordered the government to file a written report within 30 days setting out how USCIS and the Department of Homeland Security have complied with the injunction. My beautiful wife from Venezuela is no threat to this country. She has a degree in tax accounting. She has a very good job. She's been promoted already. She was Employee of the Quarter. She's received bonuses and awards. Her character is perfect. Her loyalty to this country is 150%. And President Trump, you have no right to try to deny her the opportunity to continue living in the United States with me, a retired Navy senior chief veteran who is not going to bring somebody to this country or who I would deem a threat. The only threat I see right now to our country is the slow dismantling of our economy by the Trump administration as he kicks people out of this country who are a great benefit to this country. Thanks for watching the video, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. Don't forget I do a live stream Mondays, Wednesdays, and Saturdays, 6 p.m. Central Time. And if you want to join as a member, I think down here somewhere you can join up as a member. If you join as a member, find my email address and phone number in the members only videos and call me, text me, tell me you joined, and my beautiful wife Karina will mail you a free bag of Colombian or Venezuelan coffee. See you at the next live stream.
Okay, I'll talk to you later. See you later. Bye.